Hi guys, in this video I am going to show you how to find rich and wealthy folks anywhere in the world. Okay, so for the sake of this video, I'm going to assume that I'm trying to sell a designer sneakers, okay, or a designer shoe. All right, so let me assume that the price range is $1,500, $1,500 for the shoe, or let's say $800 for the shoe. Um, so there are two strategies that I'm going to be discussing in this video. One is interest targeting plus location targeting, so rich neighborhoods, plus engaged shoppers. Guys, engaged shoppers is one of the most important criteria in the ads manager. And people just don't know how to use it, so they under they underestimate how to use engaged shoppers. Um, Anyways, the second strategy is affluent locations plus luxury goods, okay, plus device model. Now, this is very effective in places like Africa, certain countries in Asia and South America. This might not be necessary for Western countries. The reason is that most people, or majority of the people in the Western countries, use phone plans. So that is not, someone using a phone plan is not. It's not really an effective way to gauge if they are rich or not. But in Africa, for example, it is okay because phone plans are not the norm. It does not like it's not. I don't think it exists in Nigeria, for example, right? So someone that actually has the new model of an iPhone or Samsung actually paid full price for that. To me, that indicates that they have money. They are most likely high income. Okay, so that is why if you're targeting, you're trying to target a reach in Africa, then this becomes very relevant. The device model. All right. You could include engaged shoppers if you want in this second strategy. It's not necessary, but if you want, you can include engaged shoppers. I personally would always include engaged shoppers. The reason is that engaged shoppers, the way Facebook collect the data for engaged shoppers is basically people that have clicked on shop now in the past 2 or 3 months. Right? People that have actively clicked on shop now in the past 2 or 3 months. That's number one. Number two is people that have gone through to websites that contains a Facebook pixel. So Facebook tracks the customer when they go from a product page all the way to a thank you page. And that thank you page confirms that they actually purchased something from that website. So when they see that that specific person has gone to multiple websites in a space of a month, for example, and shopped online, it shows that they have confidence in whipping out their credit card or their debit card and shopping online. All right. That Facebook adds them into engaged shoppers category. Okay. So that is the reason I like using engaged shoppers. Um, it just weeds out people that would normally not it weeds out people that would normally not buy online. Okay. Anyway, so now we are in ads manager. Like I talked about the rich neighborhoods. So the first thing I will do is target rich neighborhoods, and in this case I'm targeting rich neighborhoods in Los Angeles. I like to have multiple ad sets, and I like to use my ad sets almost like data sources for me, right? Because I target specific, each asset of mine have specific criteria, specific target criteria, and I like to know completely, you know, what exactly for each asset I am looking for. In this case, I want to target rich people. I want to see if how they, I want to see and study how they react to my ad about a luxury trainers or luxury shoe that I'm selling for $1,500. Am I going to make sale? Am I going to, is it going to be a clear out? I have no idea, but it makes sense. They can afford it. So if my offer is good, And if the shoe that the luxury shoe I'm selling, if it's nice and very appealing, they have no they have no reason not to buy, if that makes sense. Um, so what I've done is put together the neighborhoods. So I have Bel Air, you have Beverly Crest, Brentwood. So I'm just gonna show you guys how I came up with these guys, right? So in your country, right, you possibly know you most likely know like rich neighborhoods. So if you type the rich neighborhood you know of in the search tab here, it's most likely going to come up. So in the case of Brentwood, California, it came up, and I'm just going to add that there. All right. So I'm okay with this. I could also, if you don't want to do this, like if you don't want to do based on neighborhoods, you could add a city that has multiple rich neighborhoods. For example, in the case of California, there's Beverly Hills, right? It's a city that has multiple rich neighborhoods. You could do that. I just like to be very specific with my targeting criteria. Um, when it comes to age, so because I'm selling luxury shoe, the luxury shoe that I'm selling is tailored towards the whole towards the older demographic, right? So age 30 plus. All right, so that's exactly on the age 30 to age 55. So now I could either do two things. I could layer up with luxury good interest, or I could be more specific and go with a specific brand. Prada has Prada, for example, has very nice luxury shoes, right? So and they're very expensive at that as well. So it is almost like the perfect brand to use to reach or to find rich people, because most likely they're interested in Prada shoes. Anyone interested in Prada shoes that lives in any of those four neighborhoods and is an engaged shopper, because that's exactly what I'm gonna narrow it down a bit more to engaged shoppers, people that have shopped, or tried to shop in the past 3 months. I'm going to add that is a behavior, guys. It is a purchase behavior. So now I have layered up nicely. Okay, I have layered up nicely. This is my targeting criteria. I know for sure that I have audience size of 4,400 to 5,100. That is exactly what I'm looking for, right? I'm not trying to. This is not an ad set that I'm running to, to eternity. No, I'm trying to make money from this ad set and understand the data from the ad set, then use it in the future to maybe target rich neighborhood. Should I go ahead and target rich neighborhood in New York? What exactly am I expecting? If I do the same for Miami, what exactly am I expecting? So it is almost like a data source and still a money, a way for me to increase my ROAS to make as much money as I can if the product I'm selling is appealing to the rich in these neighborhoods. Okay, so that is one way to target rich and wealthy and rich people. So you start first with rich neighborhoods, then you layer up with a luxury interest. It could be I've gone with Prada, it could be Gucci, it could be Louis Vuitton, it could be Chanel. Chanel's got very good sneakers, very good expensive trainers. So that could be exactly what you could go for. If you don't know, if you're not sure, you could possibly do suggestions, guys. Right? Hermes, Versace, Balenciaga, Givenchy. So you could do that as well. Including engaged shoppers is just a way for you to weed out people that normally would not buy online. There are people that are not comfortable buying online. You don't want to show them your ads. You don't want to waste money, right? Because for every impression, you get charged. You don't want to do that. You don't want to waste money. So you want to show your ads to people most likely to buy your products if they like your product, if your product is appealing to them, or if your service is appealing to them, right? It's very important you note this down. Okay, so now let's go to the second strategy. So that is affluent locations plus luxury goods, you know, and then maybe device model, maybe engage shoppers. Okay. But even before we even do that, let me show, just in the case of Nigeria, guys, let me show you guys something. Let me do the same thing for Nigeria, for example. I'm just trying to prove that you could do this in any country in the world. You could find the rich, you could target the rich and sell whatever products or service that you are trying to sell. So in the case of Nigeria now, let me see. I'm going to use Banana Island um, as an example. It's a neighborhood in Lagos known for the rich folks. Let me. I'm also going to use Ikoyi as well. Lagos, Nigeria. Right. So, right. So two neighborhoods now that is known to contain very rich people. All right. So it's telling me it's 1,000. I need to add more people. Let's try Magodo. So neighborhood. Let's see exactly what's going to happen. Um, and I'll just keep going, guys. All right. So it's still okay. Then let me just go Lekki. It's a city known for rich folks as well. It's a neighborhood as well known for rich folks. So let's do that and see exactly what happens. All right, cool. That's cool. I'm gonna leave it as that. So now, right. So now, same thing applies. Like 30 to 55, the interest being Prada. But I'll look at it from a perspective and say, okay, do Nigerians like Prada? Can I? Is it too specific? In the case of Nigeria, it might just be too specific, right? The best way to do it, the best thing I could do here is say probably luxury goods, so I could expand people interested in Gucci and Hermes, in Versace, Balenciaga, everything all together. The reason I'm doing this is that there are more rich people in America than possibly in Nigeria. So, in America, I could possibly layer down to like a Prada, but in Nigeria, it is smart to, be a bit more broad with the interest rather than be very specific with the interest. So now that I've done that nicely, so I've got 3,100 to 3,600 people. Now that is very good. So this is a rich objective, guys. But you could do the same for your conversions campaign, your leads campaign. You want to be very specific. Facebook might try and scare you by saying, "Hey, your CPC is going to be expensive." Guys, ignore them. It is better for your CPC to be expensive, and you know that you're reaching the people that you really want to reach, the people that most likely will take action for whatever you're selling. All right, it is better for that than for you to waste money just because you're trying to keep your CPC low. It makes no sense, guys. The whole point of advertising is that you want your ads to show to the people that the people in your target audience, your ideal customer. Okay, so anyways, yeah. So that is just an example of how you could use the first strategy for you know like a place like in Nigeria, for example. You could do the same for Ghana. You could do the same for, I don't know, Philippines. You could do the same for Chile. You know, regardless of the country in the world, I'm pretty much sure there are rich neighborhoods you can actually target, and you could find it here on Facebook. Just search whatever the neighborhood is, and it's going to come up. So now I'm going to go to the second strategy. Now the second strategy is this, so affluent locations plus luxury goods plus device model. Now I'm going to start with Nigeria first, okay? Because I'm trying to explain exactly what I mean by the device model. I'm trying to show you guys what's going to happen. So I'm going to clear this out. No, I'm going to clear this out. All right, so I'm done clearing things out. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do now is talk about the second strategy, which is affluent locations plus like a luxury goods plus device, and then maybe engage shoppers. So when I talk about affluent locations, right, I'm talking about like, for example, this is Nigeria, right? So there's a restaurant called Shiro Lagos, right? It's a restaurant, but it's a very expensive restaurant and like very expensive. So for you to afford to actually go dine here, man, you should have money. Like you like most likely should have money. And if you don't, maybe you're going there, maybe you saved your money, you've been saving for the past 2 months, and now you can afford to go there. I could still weave out people that are not will not be considered to be rich, for example, right? For example, workers in Shiro restaurants or people or workers close by Shiro, the Shiro restaurants. What I'm going to do is luxury goods. So when I'm doing this, when you're doing these affluent locations, it has to be way more. So it has to be like Shiro Lagos place. If you, for example, there's I think it's called, no, not per se, it's called, what is it called? Let me check. Nigeria. Okay, no. Let's see. So Lagos find that RSVP. I'm gonna check that as well. The Sky Restaurant, Talindo Steakhouse. All right, let's see what we can find. All right, so it's not just exactly. So Talindo Steakhouse, that's one. I can find it now. Put it there. I'm gonna find so Talindo Steakhouse. There was RSVP. I don't know. Let me see if I can find it. RSVP Lagos. Cool, nice. So you add like multiple affluent locations together here, all right? Then you want to layer up with interest, luxury goods, because the last thing you want, there could be Uber drivers going there to drop people. There could be there could be workers, in the restaurants. You are going for rich people. Remember that. In the purpose of this ad set, your targeting criteria for this ad set is rich and wealthy people. Okay, that is what you're going for. So you have to be very specific with that. So you've layered up. So now I've layered up with luxury goods. So people that dine in this place, okay, and interested in luxury goods, okay, and must also be engaged shoppers. Now, remember I said, or must also. Let's go find the device I was talking about. Let me see. Let me see. Let's go find the device I was talking about. Let's see if I can find it. iPhone 6s behavior owns iPhone 6s. No, let me actually find it. All right, guys. So I was trying to find the phone, but for some reason I couldn't find the iPhone 14 that I was trying to find. But if you want to find devices, guys, all you need to go is go to behavior, go to digital activities, scroll down all the way to mobile device user. And you click on it, then it shows you by brand, by operating system, and Android based on Facebook access, okay, and all that stuff. So it also shows you new smartphone and tablet users. Okay, so if you want to use that criteria, but when I tried to use the criteria, it was too specific, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to go with the luxury good and layer it up with engaged shoppers. So now I know that the people that I'm reaching most likely are rich folks. So they dine in this restaurant. They dine at this restaurant. Okay, between the age of 30 to 55. I'm going to raise it up a bit because let me say 25, right? Let's say 25 to 55. Let's raise it up a bit. Cool. Interested in luxury goods, okay, and are also engaged shoppers. That is my targeting criteria in this case. And I've got a nice audience of 10,500 people. Um, so in, so now I have made sure that my ad is going to show to people that are most likely to be rich, wealthy, or high income. All right. So if I'm selling a luxury sneakers, for example, for $900 or for $1,500, I know for sure that you know I'm showing the ad is showing to people that are most likely to be able to purchase it. And guys, if you have a real estate business, for example, I don't know, you're selling homes. This is also something you could also use, depending on the price of the home you're selling. Okay, so you always want to narrow down your target audience, guys. So you want it to be specific. In this way, you do not waste money. So every dollar you spend or every naira you spend goes to every naira or dollar you spend is productive. Either it brings you back data that you can understand because you restricted your target, you restricted your pool, your target pool, or it brings you money. It could either bring you data in which you could use, study, and use for your next ad set that you're creating, or it brings you money, and a lot of them. Okay, so that is going to be all for this video, guys. I wanted to show you guys two ways and two strategies in which you could find and reach wealthy and rich people with money. And these are the two strategies. Okay, the first one is using interest targeting plus location targeting plus engaged shoppers. Remember, engaged shoppers are people that are actively shopping. Either people that have clicked on shop now, the shop now button on the ads that they have seen, or people that have gone to websites. Maybe they didn't, maybe they never saw an ad on Facebook. Okay, but they know I don't know, they know a website, um, and they went to the website to purchase a product, but the website has a Facebook pixel on, so Facebook tracks that. So you know for sure that when you put engaged shoppers is active shoppers, people that have bought in the last 2 months or shopped in the last 2 months. In this situation, it's in the second strategy, you have affluent locations plus luxury goods, uh, plus device model if you want to, or just engage shoppers. Okay, so you could do the same, yeah, guys. You could apply this to, you know, you could apply this to any country in the world. For example, if we look at New York, so this is New York. This is restaurants in New York, expensive restaurants in New York, most expensive restaurants in NYC. NYC. So if we look at this, so there's Jean George's, there's Le Benedine, there's Massa. So let's go to Ads Manager. Let's quickly check. Right, there's a restaurant called Le Benedine. See. So that's it, guys. As you see, that's it. That's it right there. So you can add it. There's a we saw one coming by that. There's Massa. There's Jean George's. Okay, let's try and find it. Jean George's, something like that. Right, so Jean George's restaurant, as you can see, is right there. So this, guys, this can apply to any country in the world, guys. STK London. Let's see if we find it. Yep, STK Steakhouse London. So that's London. Like it can apply to any country in the world. You could do this. Find rich and wealthy folks. Now, one more thing you could also do. One more thing you could also do, guys. Um, be careful how you use this, guys. People living in or recently in this location. People living in this location. So the first strategy I showed you, you have to make sure that you click people living in this location. So I'm talking about this strategy when we were trying to target rich people, and we were targeting through their reaching through their neighborhoods, right? You want people that live in these neighborhoods. So because you want that, you want to make sure that you click on this. People living in these locations, and for the first strategy. But when it comes to this second strategy, you want to live it like this, right? Because the guys, the people you're targeting, they are just going to these restaurants to eat. They don't live in that. They don't live in that location, right? So you want to live it like this. People living in or recently in this location, or you could even say this is even far more better. This is far more better. For example, people recently in these location, right? This is what I'll go with. Let's see. Right, nice. So people recently in this location, right? So you can see now from 10,000, potential 10,000 to all the way to 5,500. That is 5,000 people that potentially would not be rich people, and they would be seeing your ads. So now you have this nice 5,500 people. At least you know that everybody here, most likely, most likely, are rich folks. Why? Because you layered it down nicely. Expensive restaurants, interested in luxury goods, and also engaged shoppers. All right, so you've layered it down nicely, uh, and most likely you will be targeting rich and wealthy people. All right, that is going to be all for this video, guys. Subscribe to our channel. Um, like the video if you found value. Feel free to express yourself in the comment section. Ask questions if you want. We also offer services, ads, advert optimization services. If you want us to optimize your ads, we can do that. If you are Nigerian or you have a business in Nigeria, we also manage and run ads. If you want us to offer that service, we can do that. We can do that. Um, we also have a support group where we have tutorials and guides, advanced tutorials and guides. It is very active. If you want to join, let us know. So um, I could actually add you to the group. It is paid group, guys. It is a paid group. All right, that's going to be all for this video, guys. See you in the next one.